In section 2.2, we're looking at multiplying fractions. And multiplying fractions actually isn't all that complicated. It's a little strange to think about why it comes about. So I'll take a brief moment to figure out why we multiply the way we do. If we're trying to do something like 3 times 1/4, multiplying by a whole number is easy enough. We just have 3 copies of 1/4. We have 3 times 1/4. That's just 3/4. You can see we end up with that, that, and that. We just rearrange them. We end up with 3/4. Similarly, if we had half of something, if we want to talk about taking half of a third, we say, oh, okay, we have a third. We just cut each of those in half. I would probably divide each of those in half. But if we take half of the third, you can see that's actually 6 equal parts there, and we only have 1 of them. The actual way that we would accomplish this with the numbers is we would multiply the 1 by 1 to get a 1, the 2 by 3 to get a 6. And that's, rather than trying to figure out special ways of doing each of these, that's the general way we would want to multiply these. So if we want to do 5 over 6 times 2 over 3, well, 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 3 is 18. And if we didn't care about it being in lowest terms, we would be done here. But it's very common, especially on the website, you'll notice that everything you want to enter on the website needs to be in lowest terms. And it's a good habit to always put something in the lowest terms. So I'm noticing that both of these numbers are even, so that means you can divide both top and bottom by 2, divide that by 2, and divide that by 2, giving us 5 over 9. 5 is a prime number, and it's not divisible by, or it does not evenly divide 9, so that means this is now in lowest terms. Now, I could have actually, one thing you'll see me do, oops, let's do 5 over 6 times 2 over 3. This is where we're starting. One thing you'll see me do with a lot of these problems is I'll kind of think of them as 5 times 2 over 6 times 3. And in doing so, all I did here is I kind of put them together in the same fraction. And clearly that's the same thing. 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 3 is 18. I'm just writing it in this way because then I can see, well, this allows me to think about canceling any common factors that are on the top and the bottom. And I can actually see that 2 is a common factor between the 2 and the 6. So if I divide 2 by 2, I get 1. If I divide 6 by 2, I get 3. And so when I say canceling these factors, I'm dividing both the top and the bottom of this fraction by 2. It's kind of actually the exact same thing as the 2 I divided by here. But the nice thing about doing it how I did it here is I'm able to deal with smaller numbers. The largest number I had to deal with in this problem is 6. And then I multiply these things together. I get 9. Well, I guess the largest number is 9. Over here, I had to actually take 6 times 3 to get to 18, then divide by 2 to get to 9. This sort of technique I will do when I'm trying to keep my numbers smaller. It's just a lot easier to do with smaller numbers. All right, if we want to do something like 6 times 1/8, you can always remember that dividing by 1 doesn't change the value of a number. And so 6 over 1 is the same thing as 6, because dividing by 1 doesn't change the 6. So I could say 6 over 1 times 1 over 8. Now, well, pushing these together, 6 times 1 is 6, 1 times 8 is 8. This is 6/8. And then we want to reduce this by dividing both the top and the bottom by 2 to get 3/4. Here we have a mixed number, which is a problem. We are not going to bother trying to learn any rules for multiplication or division or anything with mixed numbers. If you see a mixed number in a problem, just convert it to an improper fraction. Mixed numbers are just a pain to deal with, so we're not even going to try. So the first thing I'm going to do is convert this to a improper fraction. So 2 times 4 is 8. Add that to the 1, we get 9/4. So I just converted this 2 1/4 to 9/4. That's the only thing I did. So I have 9/4 times 3/4. Now, well, 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 is 16. And I would want to look to see if there's any common factors that can be canceled here. And this is another case where it's actually nice to look at the numbers before we multiply them together to see if there's any cancellation. I know that 4 is 2 times 2, and 4 is, well, 2 times 2. I also know that 2 is not a factor of 9, nor is it a factor of 3. So the only thing that can be divided, the only thing I can divide the bottom by that would change it would be 2's. The only thing I can evenly divide the bottom by is 2's. I can't divide any of the top by 2's, which means that there are no common factors over here, because the only factors are 2, the only prime factors are 2, and there are no prime factors of 2 up there. So this is why I would say that this is in lowest terms. In this problem, it didn't indicate whether we wanted to leave this as an improper fraction or a mixed number, or did it? No, it doesn't say. So if we're leaving it as an improper fraction, it is already in lowest terms. This is what we would want to leave it as. We'd want to just leave it as 27 over 16. If we wanted to convert this to a mixed number, we could do that. There's no indication. This, like I said, we just want to leave our numbers in lowest terms, and this is lowest terms. There are no common factors, so I'll leave it there.